laptop cooked itself last night, so
Oops.
yeah, but should have a new PC up and running by like Thursday, hopefully.
All right. We'll start here. So I have provided upon request, I've got Spidey Cube here. Okay. So this is an FBX that you can bring into your scene. I want you to download him right here, and get ready to import him into your Blender scenes. It's just a good it's a good reminder of scale. So I don't remember. Let me just download him myself, and we'll do this. Huh?
What was this last year?
We looked at it last year. We actually did it for this assignment last year, and then I forgot to post it on Canvas. I think we shared it on the Discord. Yeah, and Emma was on my case for days about Spidey Cube, and so I finally got it. All right. So what we're doing this week, kind of building off of and trying to ingrain some of the stuff we learned on the time machine. I'm going to show some modifiers. We're modeling with modifiers, but we're going to create a city. Each of you are responsible for creating a city block for this city. So I got some pictures of some different skylines. I don't remember. I got these skylines like last time I did the assignment, so I don't know what they all are. Good luck. Did some research. So we're going to start with a 100 by 200 meter cube. And that is a Chicago sized city block. So we got a rectangle that we're going to populate. And we'll bring Spidey in to help us get acclimated to that scale. So we'll create this cube, bring Spidey in, and I want you to populate that block. Now, this can be one massive building. I don't know how many buildings, are 100 by 200 meters. Someone go math that for me. That's a lot of feet. Some really big skyscrapers do. You will have a height requirement for at least one building on your block, but you don't have to make it all one building, right? It can be a couple of shops, a townhome, a park, like a parking lot. Like fill this up, have some fun with it. But we do have a little bit. We want one skyscraper at least per block, and so what we're looking at here is between 10 and 40 stories. We're not going to go for any of these. These are all beyond us. Those are super huge. So again, based on research, a story we're going to call 4.3 meters on average. So we're looking at 43 meters is your minimum height for your skyscraper on your block. Or you can go up to, if we go 40 stories, I think it's 172 meters. So let's open up Blender and see what all this looks like. So I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and save this and create my whole folder structure. So documents, Blender, start making folders. This is going to be week. Did we decide it was 10? 9? Huh? We'll call it week 10.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Call it city block. And then our usual. I'll save it in scene, and this will be block. All right. So let's do this. So the first thing we want is to create the actual block. This is required for everybody. So we're going to go ahead and size this up. So this is going to be 200 meters by 100 meters, not 1,001. And then 0.15, whatever that looked like. So we're populating this with a big building. Just go ahead and call that block. or lots of buildings, whatever. And let me import my FBX of Spidey. So same way we'd exported, go to File, Import, FBX. It should be hanging out in my Downloads folder. There's Spidey Cube. And the whole thing locked up. There we go. All right. Move him up so he's standing on there. So there's Spidey, or our person. And here's this whole city block we've got to populate. Does it help with scale? It's not massive. It's not an entire city, but a Chicago size city block is kind of big. So I'll move him over, and I'll just start with a building really quick. Well, actually, let's look at some scales really quick. So I'm gonna add a new cube. Okay, and this will be our short skyscraper. And we decided that dude could be 43. Is that right? Go back and check. So 43 is our minimum height. We can go up to 172 for a 40-story. So there's our scale. That's still worth Spidey climbing. Or we can do a bigger one. And I think we said, what, 172? So if you wanted to go super big skyscraper, since I've got to set a limit somewhere, or some idiot's going to give me the Tower of Babel that reaches the moon, which is not going to look right in Unity, there's our limit. So your tall building can be as big as this minimum and as big as this max, somewhere in between here. And your tall building doesn't have to take up the whole thing. You don't have to make a giant Capitol building. We can just do a few small things, a few buildings, trees, parks. Did you guys do trees in DET Club last night? I think it'll work out. Yeah. Bring some trees in. Definitely have Spidey hanging out there. And then if you're on any kind of Spidey game, of course, the first thing you're supposed to do is get up as high as you can and jump. Right? That's how these things work. Yeah. So anyway, for the sense of scale, that's what we're doing. And I'm just going to move that over here. So this will be... so the time machine was a cool demo, cool assignment. They taught us some stuff. I want to reiterate some of the stuff we can do there. So here we go. I'm going to start with this cube. I'm going to go ahead and hide my city block. We'll fade it out. Move this guy up. Well, let me put him up here first. Here we go. So he snaps to the top. I need to get Spidey down here and see if that's too tall for him to step up on. So this is part of your model, this block. You can round the edges, probably be a good idea. I think I just arbitrarily chose 0.15. I don't know if that's too tall for us to step up on the curb or not. Anyway, back to the time machine. So they showed us the destructive modifier that we can just write when we had made half a chair and we added symmetrize to it, boom. The thing was there. It was a one-time, one-shot. There was no going back thing. The other thing they showed was the mirror tool, which was fantastic. So let's go ahead and just play with that. I want to keep my point of origin. Let me see. Move this down actually. So this is 2 meters tall right now. I'll move him down so he's sitting right on the origin. And then just for the sake of getting things clean later, so I'm going to set my origin to 3D cursor, and my 3D cursor is at 0, 0. So this should be, there's our pivot point for the object and for the world is right here at 0, 0, 0. I'll come over here and add a modifier to this. We're going to add mirror, which was cool. I'm looking right at it. I know I am. There it is. And I'm going to do this on X and Y to speed up my modeling. So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to move the geometry, not move the object. If I move the object right now, I'm moving its pivot point. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go into edit mode and just move all of the geometry over to a corner. Right, and you can see with mirror on X and Y, I'm getting all this. So I can turn on the clipping. And then, wait, which one did it do? I just need to up the merge. That's what happened, I think. Hilarious. Well, it was working before. There we go. So clipping on, and when you start, then as I move it out, we just get a bigger box, or with that off. It's already too late. Then we get boxes. Anyway. So I'm going to move this out with clipping on. So I'm going to merge it back together. Turn clipping on, pop it in, stop it there, and then we move it out. So now we're just going to get a big base. We turn this on and off at any time, right? So really I'm just doing this. So you want to make a nice symmetrical building with a lot of detail. This is a cool way to do it. So I'm going to start playing with some stuff here. We'll inset this. It actually insets the whole face. I'm going to move that back toward there and just move the face in and then move the face out, and we've got back to being a meeting at the corner there. Extrude that up. Move that edge down. We kind of get that retaining wall look. Let me move Spidey down here really quick. Life-size Spidey, for the record, is 1.8 meters tall. So that's our roundabout 6 foot. That may not be accurate. Spidey's he's a little guy, right? He's not quite 6 foot. Yeah. Fair enough. So pop him out here. So that kind of works, right? So that I accidentally got the right scale. So if this is my big building, and this is that kind of concrete retaining wall around it, and that's about right. So we can go back into this, start adding edge loops, cutting some stuff in for stairs, different things. Use my edge snap. I'm going to move this edge here. So it's lined up there and not angled. Some. So I've got a big indention for an entryway here, and then I can cut this up and start extruding out stairs. Fun, fun. I'll go back to my old edge loops instead of the loop cut. Subdivide that a bunch. Yeah, it's the edge one that's killing me. So I'm just roughing here. You do not have to do this exact thing. I'm just getting lost in my own details here. All right, so I've got some geometry. Not quite Rocky level stairs. We don't have to run for days. Definitely not uniform, but you get the idea. You can snap those into place. Anyway, using the mirroring tool, quite helpful for building large things that we expect some symmetry in. So as I did this, I got stairs on the other side as well. I've got stairs on the back side. I don't know why it's angled like that. Did something goofy. But as you go upwards with this and start cutting in shapes, it'll work out. Let me see. Let me just separate this. Edge loop here. We'll inset some windows, and then we'll move on to a different example. If I subdivide this guy, subdivide these faces, and then inset. And then assume the inset works. Oh, there we go. I want them individually inset. Perfect. That was the thing missing. So we can inset faces and then extrude them in a little bit. Let's do that along normals. We get that big old windowed building construction look. That's nowhere near our skyscraper. I don't know if I actually separated those out where they're like 4.3 meters-ish per story, but you get the idea. So that is modeling with the mirror modifier and just getting a whole lot of detail in with a few things because you're only working on one corner. Let me look at something else. So they did the array on that other thing on the time machine, and I think there's some cool things we can do with that. I don't know why that's inset. So this mirror modifier, it's one thing to note, is it exists until we say it doesn't, right? So if I just take my building and start moving him around, if I was in edit mode, then I'd do some weird stuff. If I had this off and I tried to render this thing, that would only see the one corner. But when you're done with a modifier like this, right? Let's just say I'm done with the symmetry on this building, and now I want to do some other stuff, right? I just want to raise up one corner of it. If you come up here to your modifier and hit the drop down key here and just apply that, now that's all one mesh. We got all the benefits of having symmetry on. And now I can come in and just say, I only want part of this raised, and raise up a tower just from the one area. Got a question back there? You just waving at me, Jonathan? How's it going, dude? Your hand up you need help? Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right, if I move that up to this. So that would be my minimum skyscraper building at that height. Let me do the same thing over on another side here. So I'll inset that a bit. Random and arbitrarily. Raise it up. Switch to my move tool. Snap to that edge. At 172-ish. So I've got two towers coming off of that now that I turned off symmetry, and I can do anything I want to any part of it. Again, so there's my minimum and my maximum for skyscraper height. But as cool as this building is, no, it sucks. It's terrible. It doesn't quite fill up the block. So we still got plenty of room for parking lots, guard shacks, parks, coffee shops, statues, whatever we want to build around this. I want you to be as creative as possible this week, but I'm just showing tools to speed things up. This guy is 16 by 17 meters. Somebody, what's that in feet? Not enough? Okay. $55 feet. It's not a big building, is it? It doesn't have a big base. But you know what? In comparison to Spidey here, I've seen buildings like this in a lot of games. Built for height, not for base. It works. Let's see. All right, I'm going to do something really crazy. So I'm just going to start with a cylinder. Let me hide my block again. And we'll look at some cool ways we can do some things with the array tool. So we'll do a cylinder. We'll go ahead and make it my 4.3 meters for a story. There-ish. Scale it on X. Did you know you can math in the type ins here? So right now, my cylinder is 4.3 meters tall. And the pivot point is right in the center of it. So I want to move it up so it's sitting on the grid line. So I can come up here and just go 4.3 divided by 2, and it's going to do the math for me and set me at 2.15. So you've got some complex stuff you want to do math-wise in here. Kind of cool. All right, zoom in on this. I'm going to move his pivot point down to the 3D cursor. We'll do some stuff to him really quick. Like I'll select this one face here. Let me say select similar area. Oh, that's funny. Okay, it only gave me that many. I want it all along the side. Let's go Alt and click. There we go. Alt, click one of those. I've got all the ones from the side. I'm going to do the inset thing on there, just so they look like windows. We won't do a whole lot complex with this. So inset each of those faces, not individually. Yes, individually. Why are you not doing it? All right, so set to individual finally, and then I'm using the slider. Sync them in. I made it oblong so we could do some fun stuff with it. So let's just say I'm done. For whatever reason, I have designed a story for my skyscraper. I like it. It's 4.3 meters tall, which is what we decided a story would be. Now I need to make this 40 stories high. So I'll use the array modifier. Let me go ahead and create the empty first. So I'm going to go ahead and add. We did this again on the time machine, but just for fun, we'll do it again. So empty, and this is just array helper. Now I want to go to my cylinder here, which is round-ish building floor. And I'll add the array modifier. I want to use an object offset. And I'll choose, let me just do it from the drop down here, my array helper. And set my count to, I wanted 10 stories, right? Now I'll go move my array helper up. I don't know what just happened. I don't know why it's, we're going to pretend we did that on purpose. Let's do that. So I'll move him up 4.3, and so then it should be stacked nicely. Something is going on with him. Oh, I didn't bake my scale. I didn't bake the scale on my original object, so it's got some scaling issues. You know, that's kind of cool. Up until it gets too narrow. Like this is just a hallway on the top floor. That does me no good. Kind of, right? Kind of, for sure. If I came back here and after the fact applied my scale, there we go. That's what I expected to see. So I applied the scale to the original object, and then everything lined up here. So we'll pretend Minas Tirith was what we wanted to do, and then we changed our mind. But taking this array helper here, something cool we can do is I can now rotate that guy, just my array helper. Let's do it just on the z-axis here, and I can get this kind of tilted tower look going on. So we got a pretty complex building here, just doing the array and then moving that helper around. One thing we can't do to that helper, right, is have too many. Now we've got floating stories here. That doesn't work. Laws of physics. They're going to have stories floating over the other ones. They make it look like that for sure. Yeah. And you could do, right? So you could do this. I could actually see this being a thing. So let's just say we do this, and then we just add an elevator, a big old elevator shaft at the core here. I can see this being a building being designed, right? Big old core that it's all attached to, but from the outside, but not looking at that core, it looks like they're all floating. So, get creative, have fun for sure. You can put a couple of fun skyscrapers and still have room for parks and statues and food trucks. Somebody, please give me a food truck lot on one of these. That would be great. Just because I'm hungry. Huh? As shady as possible. So food truck sushi. Yeah, like. I want to walk up to a food truck and think, this could be the bad decision that ends my life, and roll the dice. Yeah. So we at an old job we did a team outing to a food truck park in Dallas, and I joked before we got there that the shadiest food truck would be sushi, and they had one there, and that's where it was like the best. Oh my gosh, it was like the best sushi roll I've had, and it was really delicious.
I wouldn't have been brave enough to try it.
Yeah,
It's a sweet park.
yeah, that's an awesome food truck park. It's just a great setup. But yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, this could be what ends me, or this could be really delicious. And it was delicious. So, you know.
If it was the other way, you may not be super special.
Let me see. I think I can scale my helper as well, just for fun. And then based on that's actually kind of cool. I like this. So I scaled the helper. So we're not getting to just hallway size at the top. Didn't go too far, but that's kind of cool. This will be a really neat Art Deco building or something Cake Boss does. Either way, it'll work out. And then we can math all we want, right? So I've got 10 of these, and I want to go 90 degrees, so I can just math in there. Split the difference. Each story goes up, twist at 9 degrees, and then we get to, I like that. I'm putting this on my art station. It's amazing. Oh, oops. Here's a problem with the array based on another object. I need to bake this now, or if I just try to move this guy, just want to move this building over to the corner here. You know, I can see that working too. Yeah. So I decide I like this. Again, come to the modifier, hit the drop down and apply it. And now that is the building. And I can just move that over to this other corner here. And I'm building kind of a cool deal. The other thing I want to encourage you to do. So for the purposes of this, you're building the city block. But guess what? We have crates, we have barrels, we have maybe trash cans. I don't know what else you did extra. So we can fill our alleyways with fun stuff. Put in your crates, barrels. Maybe you have a time machine cruising down the street if you put wheels on it. Fill this up with your fun stuff. Make a nice scene out of it. And I'll tell you what I want to do. So we're going to get to a point. If it doesn't happen later this week, because I want you guys to put a lot of time in on building the block, Matthew. He doesn't care. Yeah, no, so I want to give you plenty of time to work on this. But then what I want to do is we'll practice the export again. So I want you to export these all as FBXs. And once I get all your city blocks, I will try to build a unity scene, a big city out of everyone's city blocks. I tried it last year and totally crashed my computer. It was not this one, it was a different computer. Chase may have been directly responsible. No, it wasn't just Chase. Chase contributed a lot. We had a lot of high poly buildings in there. Chase did this whole, yeah. Yeah.
If you scroll far enough on the chat, you will find my screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go crazy. And so that's the other thing, right? So I want these at least colored. Use some texture where you can, and let's not get over detailed, right? So this is look at Spidey here. Let me just zoom in on Spidey. If it's over detailed, right? If I got Spidey here, and this is my massive city block, let's just hypothetically, we've got a student named, I don't know, Matthew or Chase, whatever, right? Random name. And they're like, you know, it'd be really cool. Let's model every pit in the concrete, like actually use a Boolean of a rock and dig all that in. It's going to crash on your computer, let alone with 20 other city blocks. So normal map for sure, not a 32K normal map, like 2K normal map. But we're working at a scale here where it's massive. So I want detail, but I don't necessarily need doorknobs, right? I've got stairs here and I've got cool windows indented. I could do a little bit more to this, add like a plaque here, you know, for the building name, building number. Could do a little bit more with this, but this is kind of the detail we want on there. I've modeled individual apartments for every window on the interior. Yeah. 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 And if you model it separate, then that's easy to do. Even if you model it all as one thing, we can take the outer shell and move that. Cathedrals would be great. One thing we could do that isn't extraneous detail, right? We got older buildings. You want to model a quick fire escape. Common things you're going to see on the exterior. You want to do power lines coming in. That's okay. Don't give me the pits in the concrete. Don't go too nuts because we've only got a week for this assignment. Well, it depends. Are you going to model each and every bit of the stained glass? Or are we talking about a texture?
So what I was going to do is I'm actually modeling a specific cathedral.
Okay.
And so what I was going to do is I was going to take photos of that and try to turn that into glass.
Yeah. Where we want cool detail, use a texture. Otherwise, use color. And try to fill this up. Right? Don't say I made 2 buildings and there's my city block, because this is the most boring city ever. Like at least give me trees and parks and statues and bridges and like fill it up. Make it populous, populated. Or just give me these cool things and like a really, really big building filling the rest of it up. Some greenway works. Make sure, let me pick on Jet since I heard his voice.
And I found it in chat.
Using
How big is the block?
100 by 200 meters. So all that's on here. Right? So here's what we're going for. There's our starting cube. Let me make sure I didn't mess that up. So 0.15 might be. Point. So it's like a 6 inch. Yeah, that's a good. That's not too bad. You've got to step up on that curb, but it's nice and defined.
Or drive under it, you know.
Or drive. Okay, so yeah, back to so make sure that when you're modeling your stuff, you keep looking at Spidey, because maybe Jet made a really big building that looked like kind of like this, but like a whole bunch of layers of cake, and then he had a fence. He had a fence around the outside, but didn't pay attention to scale. And so, like, I could drive a semi under this fence. It was absolutely not secure. So for all of the things you're adding in, look at it next to Spidey. Spidey's our friend. I don't even remember why, chosen arbitrarily as a texture, but here he is.
It's amazing.
6 foot tall. Some might even say spectacular. Yeah, amazing, spectacular. I've heard a lot of descriptions for this particular model.
I found the image of the old thing that I broke the thing with.
Did you? Oh yeah.
Scroll up a bit, look at the poly count.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Yeah.
How did you make that?
Look at the detail.
So
43 million vertices?
Hey, props, go down.
This is the thing that
All the way
crashed.
down.
I'm concerned about the face.
That's
Yeah.
the detail on it.
So yeah, this thing. If you want to put that much detail in your model for your portfolio, great. When I say give me the FBX now that we can build a city out of it, give me a lower poly version.
I did give you a lower poly version.
You did, and it's still, yeah.
8 million when I gave it to you. And it was still broken.
Here we go. Here's Jet's tower. Again, that's 100 by 2. This fence, like you could drive an 18-wheeler under it, literally. Look at that. Check your scales. Check your scales.
If I find the 16 trillion poly pop card, will you try and
In Unity? No, I like my computer. I put my machines through enough where I don't need your help. Like I can torment this graphics card all on my own.
Every single poly on 85 million triangles on this model. It was so
Every
dumb.
single poly on this, like every single thing on this roof, actually a polygon.
On what? This?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I did not use a single normal map on this.
Chase?
Okay.
Yeah, it's all real.
That's crazy.
It's all there.
Chase was playing a game of let me push myself.
How is that?
That
Let me push your computer.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to crash my computer. And guess what? That computer didn't make it through the semester.
Rob, you were there for the conversation of should I do this, Chase? Oh yes. All for it.
So that all happened for sure.
See, it doesn't
Like
look
model?
that big and thin.
Well, I mean, one
Yeah, but
tile-
Spidey's like yay big right here.
I didn't have a Spider-Man.
Well, that's why I've
one
provided
tile
him.
And then rated. And then one tile was about like 2,000 polys or so. And then you had about
Each tile was
1,000 or so of those.
Did you using a right now?
Yes. I'm not gonna.
See, I copy pasted mine over.
He didn't duplicate a thing. He modeled every tile individually.
You did. It wasn't originally. I was just making sure that it was printed. So, my last question.
He's efficient.
Yes. I played it, and it was an 85 million triangle.
Now imagine subdividing that. That'd be kind of cool.
I'm not that good.
That wouldn't work.
But the problem is, for the FBX I sent in, it was actually like estimated down to 8 million, and it still broke his computer.
You decimated?
He never got the 85 billion version. But he still broke his computer.
I don't even know if I have that file anymore. So I got it. The computer died for one. The computer that it was on is dead. It
Do you
is
want
no
it?
more.
I can send it again. I have it.
But the whole city with the entire classes? Yeah, I had it all. I did manage to build a city that had his ridiculously, like each tile on the roof. We had cake tower. Somebody gave me bikini bottom, so we had, you know, the chum bucket and all that other fun stuff. So we had this big city. I got it on a computer in the lab, and I just looked last week. It's not there anymore. And then the laptop that I had just straight up died. Is it Chase's fault? I don't know, but that laptop died.
What did you do with that laptop?
Huh?
What did you do with that laptop? Because that's not the RAM laptop, is it?
That's the same one.
It's the same laptop?
Yeah.
I'm buying that. I'm so.
They're gonna wipe it every single time they sell it.
Okay.
I might be able to tell Brennan to get it intervened.
All right. I'll play with some more with the mirror while we're here, just for funsies.
Yeah, Chase
You
is,
couldn't bake the lights on my thing.
Chase is the literal reason we didn't have that thing baked out until last semester. He is the sole reason that thing never baked.
Everything else worked perfectly fine. Mine didn't bake. It just sat there for like days.
We're like, "Bro, where's our city? Oh,
It's
don't
still
worry about it.
baking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the light bake on that took weeks. Yeah, we locked up a whole computer in there for weeks just baking the lighting in Unity. The one on the end, again, the file's gone now, so I don't know what happened to it. Felt like it.
You probably posted an image of it in the chat though.
It's probably there somewhere, yeah.
You're right. Oh, we never really covered basic normal class when we did this assignment.
No, we didn't know.
No, that's advanced.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't know like.
Yeah.
So I,
That's where we do it. You want to do it, go ahead, but I don't cover it till advanced.
I was like, you want to do it? Suit yourself.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I don't know what's wrong.
32, 6, that should be right.
How much we talked last year?
That the intro to DET chat from last year is just like this. Intro to 3D, my bad. We just talked so much in 3D.
Everyone was talking about their models. This year's like maybe one message per
We were so
game.
into it. Like, wow, we have like so many people who love models. Whether we're in the model.
Yeah, there's a lot more people.
Great. A lot.
I don't know, maybe it's medieval times, maybe it's a theme park. Just felt like we needed this for the city.
I would like to point out the one thing that won't actually fit on the city block. I was looking, St. Peter's Basilica is 5 acres. It covers 5 acres. 5?
The building itself or the full grounds?
As far as I can tell, it's the building itself.
Okay.
Doesn't fit
So,
on the city block.
so here's the deal. If you need a larger city block, we don't need to completely gridify this. Like, it's more fun to have a couple of variants that, like, you know, shoot off a diagonal street every now and then. So if you need to make one bigger or like angle one out, just let me know.
Make a skyscraper as well, or something else. The cathedral's big enough, it does.
It doesn't quite get to 43 meters.
It does, it fits on the city block, but it doesn't allow anything else to fit on the city block.
I know it doesn't fit with the motif. Is there a 10-story statue or monument you can just throw next to it. So my guideline for fans of Pirates of the Caribbean, my guidelines are 43, because I want someone to get into the skyscraper realm. What did I say? I meant 430. Is what, did I say 43? Yeah, my decimals are off this one. Let me drink more coffee.
Or even just like the little bottom grid, like if you want to make that big. Like kind of like slanted or something like that. Like just on the cities for make this kind of stairs. Sorry, the best way I was thinking of is like where this 3 meters. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking like it could be like and this used to be like, to give you an idea, this be like on a hill that'd be like, not really a hill, just like staircases, so. Some cities, I guess, and this would be like. Right next to it or something? Some other buildings down there. That's what I'm thinking.
Challenge. So yeah, so it would be nice if we didn't have a completely like flatland city, but once we add elevation to you, that should affect others. If you can fit a hill in on your city block without without disturbing zoning for somebody else, maybe. Or if you need to raise everything up, we'll just throw your guy off to like your city block will be off to a side somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to add elevation and get creative with that, we can work around it. Sorry, Josiah, did you have a question when I was back there, or were you just okay? All right, just making sure.
Oh, there you go. This is one of them.
What? Didn't any scaling to this? Oh, there we go.
The fact that I was like, this is the province, I can break I found the chat.
Yeah.
I was talking chat about how I can send the Model T and break your computer.
Premeditated. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that one? Yeah. That was them. Oh, okay. Right. So, one easy fix for this, you can do so everything merge by distance, so that if they're close enough, they'll merge together. They become one. Oh, that's what extrude does. It leaves like a vertice there. So. Okay, so that would get rid of the edge there.
I'll take it. Thank you. There it is.
It's okay. Totally not understandable.
Chase.
Like stairs being like turn a section of this, either a section of this or if I have to do the whole thing with the stairs. So this was my initial goals. We focused on class that came through the stairs. And then just quick cast. So I started off with I started off with this extruded the base of it out.
I don't know. It's tough.
So just like,
dissolve
the model, bring it. Got it. Thank you. I was just, my brain was blank. It happens. Do you remember how we changed like faces? It should. Yeah. Because okay, no, that's fine. I don't know if it's oh, I see. I think it ended.
Oh, you actually that.
There it goes. Okay, what do I do with this? I just, scale it to how I want it.
Yeah, and then after that.
I've always put it in. I tried to prove it, but never did. It's in
Oops. Weird. Huh? Yeah.
It was literally just for my oh, okay, so you have to buy this space. And I'm waiting on this next time. I'm gonna get it from them. I'm probably gonna use it. I'm gonna buy it because I'm part of it. When I was there, I don't remember. I need you to hold on to this. I don't know. It's just late. So midnight before we're going to try to we'll buy the other. Wait. Exactly. Next one they're going to be oh yeah, for yeah. It sounds like 20,000. No. Okay. Thankfully, I have to show you their merch. What's next week? I haven't worked anything.